Howdy folks, Luke Simons with you. Back to the Basics 101. Today we're going to take a quick look at this German Bull brand pocket knife. Now I am a pocket knife collector. I wouldn't say an expert by any means, but I've been studying this particular knife for a long time. This is the German Bull knife, and we're going to take a look at it. It's handmade. As a spoiler, I did open this earlier. I didn't pay a lot for this knife at all. We're just going to take a look at here. Kind of a neat little wax paper. It says German Bull all over it. And what do we got, folks? This here is a Barlow knife. That's what it is. It's a Barlow knife. Now, originally the Barlow knives only had one blade in them. Okay, it only had one blade in it, and I'll just grab my notes quick here. And it was a clip point blade. Okay, that's what it was. That's a stainless steel blade. But then it had its regular blade, but it usually had a small, what they call a quill blade. And it was specifically for sharpening your quill so you could dip it into ink and continue writing with it. Well, this is a stag handle, 100% stag handle, and it is legitimately stag. So I would say that's antler, and it is antler. There's no doubt about it. It's got your brass railings on your back spring. Now, the German Bull is a handmade knife, and I was thinking, for the price, there is no way. There is no way. I mean, I paid for this case trapper knife. I paid more for this several years ago now than I did for this. And this is an absolute gorgeous knife. Now, it does have one flaw that I see, maybe two, depending on what we're looking at. Now, this is the GB113, and it's called the German Barlow Razor. Now, obviously it has stamped on it Barlow here, okay? But blade 2 is none other than a straight edge. And if you look at it, it is actually a real straight edge. Now, is it sharp enough to cut myself? Absolutely it is. Is it sharp enough to take off hair out of the box? Yes, it is. It could use a little bit fine tuning. It really could, but it definitely did shave that spot bald. And for actual taking off hair, you want that point on there. Definitely want that point on there. So, beautiful little tool here. How long is it? Well, let's take a look at it. Is it really a long blade? This is the most carried knife probably in the United States, probably even still, I'm not sure. Well, there you go. That's a regular trapper case knife, okay? And then let's just go ahead here for giggles. I'll show you what we got going on here. You would think if you're going to do a knife review, you probably should have a tape measure. So, right about there, okay? But look at the quality of that stainless steel. Now here, if you see that, it says German stainless, and it says handmade. That's what it says. On the other side, it's got its brand stamped in it. And it's just basically a bull, and it says German Bull on it. You probably can't see that, I wouldn't think. Look at the stag handle on there. Definitely handmade. Definitely not even in here, which is fine. Actually, I really like that. Now, George Washington, our first president, carried a Barlow knife. Now, the Barlow knife was originally from England, but it became popular in the United States of America. That's where she became popular. And also it has a very beautiful badge on it too. Let's see if we can't focus on that. Oh my, stay there. I don't think it's going to. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. It just says German bull on it, and it has a bull skull or bull head right here on the front. So there it is. Now it has 3 brass pins that go through, let's see here. I guess these 2 here would go solid through the knife, and of course this one does not, of course. It just goes to the edge of the knife. But you can see the brass rails. Now, one thing that I will say is, well, let's just do a review here on what we got here. With the blade open, nice and tight. Nice and tight. Good snap to the knife. Now, I'm going to push down on the blade, and you're going to see there is no give there at all. And that would be maybe a drawback, because if I push down on this knife, you're going to see them blades coming out on the back spring. You seen that? And I guess I'm probably accustomed to the case. But the Barlow brand, for that price, I just couldn't say no. And, excuse me, the Bull brand, German Bull. Now, I have to say that I am really getting into these Barlow knives. It's like I said, it's the knife that won the West. There is no doubt about it. I have a couple of them, and the one I used out in the oil field for 8 years, I guess. Illegally carried it with neighbors, and sometimes the safety pusher would even ask to borrow it. And it was just a Winchester, cheapo, and boy, it really held up, actually. It was a great knife, and I still have it. Like I said, I carried that knife in the oil field. But the Barlow was mentioned by Mark Twain, which when I first read that book, Huckleberry Finn, he said he had a Barlow knife. Didn't mean anything to me. This is the style of the Barlow knife, which is a jackknife, of course, on the jackknife type frame, but it is the first knife in the U.S. And look at that stag handle. You can't really see it now. There may be just a hairline little bit there, which is going to probably happen if it's not synthetic. Remember, that's antler. That's actually stag. And you get into this here is just to give you kind of a comparison. This here is a Victoria Knox Mountaineer. That Mountaineer is a great knife, and this is reason for it right here. It's got a file. That's a good knife to carry on Sundays. Get your fingernails looking good. So there you are, folks. You seeing that? For the price point, that Barlow is a great knife to put in your collection. And I'm telling you right now, that's a very usable, you want to straighten up your sideburns? Right there. And also, I'll tell you, you better know how to use one of them bad boys. If you don't know how to use one, you're gonna learn really fast. But that's kind of telling you where you're at. And again, this does have the brand on it as well. It's got the German Bull on there. And we'll give you there it is again. It's an absolute wonderful knife. I would have to say that the GB 113 for the $1, I bought this off eBay, is an absolute gorgeous, gorgeous knife. Clip point, obviously on the Barlow frame, which has a really good feel to it. If you see where my hand is right in there, the meat of my hand right here, it just closes in, and it just holds really well in the hand. And it's not a locking blade, as you would probably probably guessed. Very much handmade. You might be able to see it. I don't know if you can or not. There is one flaw in the handle, right? Not in the handle, but you can see where they polished it, and it is highly polished. Everything about this is highly, highly polished. But you can just see a few little scratches right there. I don't think you're going to see it in the camera. Oh yeah, sure you can, right there. Yep, right there. You can just see it. So it's got a little bit of a maker's mark in there, you might say. The brass, let's see here. This is one of my oldest knives I have. Somebody gave this to me when I was a kid. The brass could have been just a touch deeper, a little richer. And that would have dressed it up just a little bit. Like I said, you can see the brass on that case. And I've carried that thing. In fact, I've carried that for years. Years I've carried that old case, Trapper. And let's just compare that. If you're used to Grandpa's type pockets knives, you got a typical case, which is wore down quite a bit. And right there. That's how big that is, right? Right there. Seeing that? Kind of gives you a general idea where you're at. If you have just a regular old Victorinox, right there. Kind of gives you a general idea of what we're looking at, I guess. Two pins right here. And I'll tell you what, that feel to that Barlow, which I absolutely adore that they stamped it like that. That's how it should look. When you hold on to that, it has such a great feel onto that stainless there. And that stag there. At first I was like, why do they make it so much thicker here? The reason for it is it fits great in the hand. It's a great, great knife. Man. Just tickled pink to own this. And it's my first German bull knife. First German bull. And I'm telling you, folks, look at that. Would you look at that? I am just tickled pink to own that and put that in my collection. Just a wonderful, wonderful knife. But just see that. Look at that. Absolutely tickled pink to have that knife. It may be one of my prettiest little knives. It really may. Case, if this company can make this knife this great of quality for this price, we need to work on some of this. Because I'm telling you, that's a lot of money compared to this. And it's just absolutely beautiful. It's everything I would expect from a German company. It really, truly is. And this camera really isn't doing the justice of that knife. It just has a beautiful old school feel. Oh my goodness, we're 13 minutes into this already. It's just a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful feel to this knife. Folks, thank you for watching. May the Lord guide and keep you. Until next time, happy trails.